Welcome to In the Moment with Kortia, where we inform, inspire, and motivate you to be a positive agent of change. Good morning on this thriving Thursday. Woo! Thriving Thursday. Hey, look, we got it from Monday, Motivational Monday, Terrific Tuesday, halfway there Wednesday, and we're in Thriving Thursday. So your engine should be pumped, you should be revved, you should be inspired, definitely motivated, and I know you're informed about all the subject matter we've been delivering. I want to give a good morning to Central Louisiana and surrounding areas. That's Natchitoches, Gina, Alexandria at 88.1 FM. Monroe, West Monroe on 98.9 FM. Shreveport, Greenwood on 92.5 FM. St. Joseph, Natchez, Mississippi on 99.3 FM. Lake Charles on 100.1 FM. And you can follow us all around social media at In the Moment with Kortia and also at our website, inthemomentwithkortiakuzan.com. And don't forget to call in with your questions or comments at the radio station at our local number, 318-484-2500, and toll free at 877-464-2500. And today on this Thriving Thursday, we're going to be talking about, are you mindful of the people around you? I'm going to say that again. Are you mindful of the people around you? And that's not just meaning your surroundings, but definitely the people around you, okay? And what do I mean by that? Being mindful of the people around you. You know, we've brought up and touched on about the circle of friends or the people that you actually keep company with. And, you know, a lot of times we can determine just how far we are progressing in life by the company that we keep, okay? So why don't we just, like, today, as you're listening to me right now, okay, as you're driving, whatever you're doing, you know, don't lose your focus if you're driving, but, you know, whatever you're doing, okay, just make sure that you keep your focus and let God open this up and reveal this to you, all right? Stop and think just for a minute, all right? Think about exactly where you want to go in life, all right? Where do you actually want to go in life? Think about where your life is right now.
What goals you have.
What goals you have, and if you didn't realize, that's my dynamic, beautiful, lovely wife, queen, you know, that really makes me go whoop, whoop in the mornings and throughout the entire day. Jennifer, she's on the mic with us as well.
Good morning.
And, you know, she says, you know, thinking about your goals. What is it that you've actually said, you know, I said before, you know, I actually had this great plan for myself when I was 11 years of age when it came to me to be a businessman, an entrepreneur, something you don't hear an 11-year-old kid usually saying, okay? But then in doing that, am I at that level of what I saw a long time ago? And you might actually say, well, what could a 11-year-old actually think about business? They don't know anything about business. Well, that's why God actually says, you know, suffer the little children to come unto me, for such is the kingdom of heaven, okay? Because a child can just go into the realm of seeing all things as possible, even when an adult will see it as impossible,
That's
okay?
Right.
And the thing with that is that God wants us to come with that type of, I want to say impossibility thinking. I mean, that's the only way I can actually verbalize it, to where we don't limit him in doing anything in our lives.
That's right.
So in actually saying that
he can move.
Exactly, because he don't want any kind of limitations to be able to do anything in our lives. So that's what we say, stop and think for a minute. Where are you at right now? I mean, have you actually gotten to or close to, I'm just going to say close, not have gotten there, but have you gotten close to or really making strides towards where you wanted to see yourself like years ago, down the road?
Surely over the last 2 months since the inception of this show, you should have had an opportunity to sit and think what kind of goals, what kind of drive, what kind of things you want to do in life, what kind of aspirations, what kind of things have you decided maybe the road you want to take.
Exactly.
So how are you going to get there?
You know, as far as like how the show is and how it's been going, I had to think to myself, I know before the show got started, I know we've been addressing different subject matter, we've been touching on it, but I mean, the show's definitely evolved and it's going a whole different way than I thought it was actually going to go. And, you know, I kind of, without verbalizing on the outside, had an internal question and was asking God, you know, why? And he's like, you would not realize how much negativity my people are actually under.
There's so much.
I mean, and they get bombarded by it 24 hours a day,
That's
7
right.
days a week. And a lot of us, we think
Just turn the news on.
Yeah, I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, we're not even going to get into that, but the just how a lot of people think that, okay, when I get to my home, I'm going to get some peace. I'm going to be able to relax. I'm going to be able to get away from all of this negativity,
No.
and then all of a sudden, it just starts all over again.
It does.
And this show, okay, in the moment, okay, this show, as God's been showing me, is definitely to like really shake people up to, go through these words. Think of these words almost like what you hear that are coming out of my mouth, my wife's mouth, the tips that have been given, how it's touched you right there in your moment.
The guests we've had.
The guests we've had, the guests we're going to continue to have. I mean, the visual that he gave me is this, is that we have so much negativity that's attached to us, and we're so filthy, and sometimes we might be talking and it may be spewing out of our mouths. We don't realize it, but it's like he's trying to get each and every one of us, we're not excluded, okay, trying to get each and every one of us to go through like this car wash for his people that are set up, or people wash, however you want to say it.
That's good.
And we're walking through this thing, and we've got certain brushes that are scrubbing us to get this off, okay, get discouragement off of us, okay, and then another brush is coming to get frustration off of us, and then another brush is coming up behind us to get doubt off of us, and then then this big brush is trying to buff our head to let us see more clearly to be receptive. But you get the point.
Polish us up.
Exactly, get your polish there. But you see the point that I'm getting, and then you get that nice big hard spray on the end to actually get the things that are actually trying to block the sight of what he wants you to see.
That's right.
That grime, those things of people saying you're never going to amount to anything, getting all of these things off of you. And then a lot of times when we get that nice clean feel, when we get a lot of that negative off of us, we actually are able to see more so of how not to go into that particular, area of having these things happen to us again. But like I said, are you being mindful of the people that are around you? Because a lot of that comes from the people that you're in company with.
Very true. And think of the last conversation you had with a negative person.
Mm-hmm.
And you walk away, and how do you feel? You just feel heavy, burdened down, nasty. You feel like you just need to go take a shower. You just know something's not right. And that's that negativity you picked up off of that person.
I mean, I can remember telling you a few times I felt like I needed what do you call those, a moist towelette just to start wiping my skin or whatever. I just said I feel all nasty or whatever after talking with them.
Yeah.
I mean, but it really gets to that point to where, what do they say? A negative person, they can come in and just change the whole atmosphere in the room.
That's right.
Well, it's the same thing with somebody that's a positive agent of change. You can change the entire atmosphere in the room as well.
That's right.
And,
Most definitely.
it's definitely like in the group or the company of friends or your so-called colleagues, associates, however you want to verbalize it, family members. I mean, the negativity that they have going in, I mean, it's only going to affect you. Well, let's just be frank with it, unless you choose to allow it to affect you.
That's right.
Okay? I mean,
you have a choice.
You do. And I'm glad you said it, because you have a choice to stay there and partake in it, or you can just get yourself away from it. Now, it's basically like if someone's telling me something about what's going on with a particular person. Why are we talking about it? If something's going on with a particular person and they're struggling in a certain way, hey, let's go ahead. Let's be, brothers or whatever, one to another, and talk about it. Help them out. Let's lift them up. Let's get them out of this. I mean, but, we know most of the time when people start that, they want to start gossiping.
Yep.
Start slanging some type of, dirt about an individual. But what is it that's actually going to cause you to actually get out? Well, I'm going to call it like it is. This is like a cesspool, okay? Walking through sewage. That's pretty much the best visual I can give. Yeah, it stank. It's nasty, and it's almost like if you're walking through life and you have this little hole and you can't see what's down, and it's like you've dropped into this open septic tank that's just right there. And that's literally what a lot of people are doing in each and every one of our lives. They're setting traps, the enemy how he has it laid, to get you out of what God's taking you into, to change your whole perspective on everything, because he wants you to take a dip in that septic tank of some of our lives to actually just say, hey, why don't you just give up? This is your life. Get comfortable in this.
That's right. And what you end up doing is giving up those positive things in your life, those dreams, those aspirations, those just the activities you do daily that would move you in a positive direction. They move you in just the opposite direction, and they set you back.
Exactly. And I mean, the scripture even lets us know that a man without a dream, definitely perish, verbal, just breaking it down, paraphrasing. But the whole thing is that something's got to be a catalyst to actually spark what's really on the inside of you. And if you are in association with people that are around you and they're not actually basically, you know how when a fire is about to go out and you're starting to fan that flame, if they're not helping to fan your flame, you might just want to really take serious account and you might want to reevaluate your particular associations. Now, you may not want to totally separate from those individuals, but look, you don't have to spend most of your time with someone that's not going to help you to get to, that end result, to reach that particular goal in life.
That's right. And if it is a family member, it's not like you can say, you're not my family anymore.
Yeah, you can say all you want. A lot of us out there, you say, oh, I got to disown this family member, or you dread during the holidays when this family member comes. But guess what? They are still going to be family, no matter how bad or how good the situation is.
That's right. So you really, we all really, because we run into it too.
Exactly.
We all really need to learn how to manage it and how not to allow it to control us or our thought process, and how to leave it where it's at and walk away from it and still keep our positive attitudes, mindsets, and leave the negativity behind.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I mean, see, before we go to our first break, it's basically, I want to just leave this with you. Negativity is almost like taking a drug. You can choose to go ahead and take a hit or leave it alone. You can choose to take that hit or leave it alone. But guess what? The more hits you take, the more hits of it that you're going to want, until someone comes to just wean you off of it with the right positive mindset. So look, it's time that we actually get to be in that positive agent of change, and definitely be mindful of the people that are around us. And look, when we come back from break, we're going to get right back into it. Stay in your moment. Welcome back to In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan on this Thriving Thursday. Hey, we're talking about, are you mindful of the people around you? And look, we've been definitely pointing out and giving examples on how negativity from individuals will just make you stink. It will make you feel nasty. I mean, grimy. It's really, really just bad. And how it will actually almost seem like it's a chain around your ankle that's just trying to hold you in place to where you just never, ever get ahead in life, okay? And, I just want to give you a couple of steps that you can actually apply to actually help you to get through all of this, negativity of the people that may be around you. And look, main thing, if you are in the company, constantly in the company of negative people, or how do you say it? What is it? The negative Nellies, as you want to say, okay?
That's what I referred to the other day.
Yeah, those negative Nellies. When my wife said that, I was like, man, I haven't heard that expression in like almost 30 years. Well, negative Nellies. I mean,
Are you
really
trying to say I'm old?
Baby,
you're older than me.
You beauteous, baby. You get beautiful
Thank
with
you.
it. Just beautiful. I mean, whoop, whoop, beautiful, whatever.
Yes.
It's just, look.
That didn't help, though. I just want you to know. That doesn't get you off the
hook. You just get rid of the negative people, all right? We talked about family members and, associates and friends, and you may have been around someone for years, and I've had friends of mine that have been around for years, but because they haven't gone in the same direction that I've been going, or on a similar road that may seem like it's going in the same direction, and guess what? You have to make those separations. Now, I still love them and everything as friends, but what? They're not really key to helping me get to where God is calling me to be. So you know how they say sometimes you can love people from a distance, So, it's kind of one of those particular instances that we have that are going on right there. So what's really interesting is that, we need to get rid of those negative people. And then this is a really big point that's actually scary to a lot of people. And that point is this. Why don't we, in this path that we're on, okay, when we're trying to be mindful of the people that are actually around us, why don't we associate with people that are more knowledgeable on things than we are, okay? Now, you might say, well, why is that a scary thing? Because what I found, and like I said, first partaker, this like happened to me before. A lot of times we tend to shy away from people that may be more knowledgeable than we are because we don't want to feel like we're dumb. Okay, like for whatever reason that, I don't know, I don't want to feel stupid, like I don't know something. I mean, what's really going on with that? I mean, what's really interesting is that it's that you can actually grow. Okay, look at it like this. I remember as a kid growing up, I may have been probably, raised in that time when, you're not supposed to be around when the grown folks are talking, all of that good stuff.
I remember those days.
Yeah, my wife remember those days. That she
Younger than you.
But it's basically, you're not supposed to be around when the adults were talking, right? So, that's how we were pretty much raised. But the thing that was interesting is, when I talk to a lot of people, even today, that may be, elderly, more mature, when they start talking about things and I start, putting in my input, they're like, well, you're not old enough to know about stuff like that. How do you know about those things? Well, when I was growing up, even today, I'm always drawn to people that are like much older than me just because I always like to hear what they say. I always like to see what kind of knowledge that they have that I don't know, because I guess it stemmed from a lot of people that were more mature in my family that actually passed away. And, so many of us didn't really take advantage of the knowledge that they had. Well, guess what? It's gone now. I mean, you just can't go ahead and say, well, I'm going to go ahead and recreate, everything that they had. Well, no. When they passed away and they didn't get shared, it's actually gone. But what the example, or should I say the point that I'm trying to make is that my level of expertise in so many different areas grew because I was willing to actually submit myself to people that were more knowledgeable than me, and it caused me to grow. And a lot of us right now, and being mindful of the people that are actually surrounded or around us, we need to actually connect with people that are more knowledgeable than ourselves, okay? And It's basically like Scripture says, like Proverbs 27:17, where it goes like, as iron sharpens iron, so people can improve each other, okay? And that's what we need. We need to be in association with individuals that are going to sharpen our skills and give us insights that are going to help improve us.
That's right.
And so many of us right now, just because of the stigma of how we may look on the outside, how we may dress, and how we may see others, that, we think that we shouldn't approach a certain individual, we shouldn't talk to a certain individual.
That's right.
And, I'm going to just give you a tidbit if you didn't know. It doesn't matter how you look on the outside,
That's
okay?
Right.
You may not have the best clothes, okay? Your hair may not be together, but look, if you present yourself in a light of actually you want to know something, you are respectful, and you present yourself as if that you have a drive to do better in life, I'm going to tell you, someone's going to take note of that, and they're really going to take you under their wing and really start grooming you to go into the fullness of a life that God really has designated for you.
Very true.
This goes to a point, maybe, where Minister Ashley said this. He actually said, something? You may start off right now at a $10 an hour job. Okay, you might be starting right now at a $10 an hour job. But then God actually told you that you were going to be a business owner making $1 million a year. Told you that while you were making this $10 an hour job.
Right.
And so many people, when they get that word from God, they say, okay, next month, God, time for that millionaire to come. Yeah. But then, through this, that process.
Right.
It's that P word, that process, but it's basically like he may have told you that, but then you're like, a lot of people just say, okay, God, do it. But they don't ask God, okay, what's the necessary steps to get there? What do I need to do?
You just want God to do it.
Oh, yeah. We
don't want to do anything in the process.
Look, it's almost like we want God to give us this spiritual Cracker Jack box.
Yeah.
So we can just open the Cracker Jacks. The surprise
is inside.
Yeah, the surprise is inside.
You don't have to do anything. We don't want to get off into that dirty 4-letter word.
No, look, she brought it up. She brought it up. Got to say it.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
I'ma say it. Work.
You gotta say it that many times?
Gotta say it that many times. Someone may have forgotten about it. Getting into work. But look, to be told about a $10 hour job and then God tells the individual that, hey, you're going to be making $1 million a year as you're being an entrepreneur in your own business. Well, look, there's steps that you need to take. Do you know about being in business? Have you gone through training courses? Okay. Have you done the necessary steps to know what it is to do a business plan? I mean, steps to actually get there. Now, you may think, well, it's pretty much common sense to actually get in there. Well, this particular person may have been working, and I've shared this with people that had no hopes, no dreams, no desires. When I used to be in the New Orleans area around the housing projects, when I used to have the housing projects, that a lot of them that were working in like fast food places, I'm like, if you apply yourself long enough, you can rise up the line to one day possibly being a franchise owner yourself. But because they only saw it as flipping a burger, that's the image that they had. They didn't see how I could actually grow from flipping a burger to being a team leader, to being a shift manager, to being an assistant manager, being a store manager, the different levels that you actually have to go up. But
that's time and process.
It's going to look, it takes that. It really takes
it
that.
Does.
But then, of course, in being mindful of the people around you, that when you're actually doing what's necessary, people take note of that, and people actually want to invest their time, energy, and their abilities in you. And so, look, that's what takes us to the next level of being that positive agent of change. And so, look, when we come back from break, we're going to get right back into it. But look, continue to stay in your moment. Welcome back to In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan on this Thriving Thursday. And we're talking about, are you mindful of people around you? Now, it goes into the realm of, look, sometimes we go in different places, different areas, and I know I do. My wife, she just knows that no matter where we go, okay, it can be by a relative's house. And before we get up in there, I'm going to literally case the yard, the house, the surrounding buildings with my eyes just to see everything that's around, okay? That's just how I am, okay? And a lot of people, there are some people out there that do the same thing, but look, it's what I do. So why are we so mindful of our surroundings about possible danger or red flags, and we're not that way with the people in general that are actually in our lives, okay? Now, it's something at this point in time in my life and in my wife's life, I mean, I love it because, a lot of times my kids say, you act just like mama. They talk about, look at my wife and say, look, you act just like daddy, just because of some of the characteristics have like going back and forth.
That's 28 years though.
Oh yeah, that's 28. Yeah, that's 28 years. Yeah, 28 years. So what ended up happening? Oh, but in a very awesome and magnificent way. As you see the positive face on that.
Yes.
Nah, baby, it's better than ever. It's better than ever.
Oh, yeah,
but
it is.
But the thing is that in doing, that and being mindful, of your surroundings and, looking around at how now the two of us, I mean, it's just that you can almost pass by someone just because, God has sharpened your senses in so many different ways, and you just know what's going on with a particular individual point blank, whatever their intentions are, what type of spirits on them, are they going to cause mess in some type of way?
That's discernment.
Oh, yeah, big time. And, that's one of the great things if you've got discernment that's really working for you, it really helps you to be mindful of the individuals that are around you.
That's
because
correct.
I remember, Ashley, we were at church one time back in Mississippi, and this one guy came in and he was saying all kind of stuff. And I mean, it was so loud in my spirit that after this guy finished talking, you remember I actually asked you, did I just call this guy a liar right in his face? I mean, it was like the Holy Spirit was just like, liar, just lying. I was just like, ooh. So, he turned around and walked on, and she just was looking at me like with these big eyes, and she was like, no, you didn't say it, but she said, I was thinking it, But, it's being mindful of the individuals that are actually around you. Yeah. And look, when you do have those people that are trying to help you, you really want to cultivate those relationships, okay? And this is, when you hear this, it's almost like a parent, okay? A parent or a really good mentor, to where you actually want to be around people that are willing to share, okay? People that really don't mind you learning from their mistakes.
That's
okay?
right.
That's huge right there, okay?
Yes.
People that are actually willing to help you with, the tricks and tips of the so-called trade.
They'll take you under their wing, show you what you don't know.
Right.
and show you how not to make the same mistakes that they made.
Exactly. That's the process that we're in, right now. I mean, you don't stop. When
That's
when you
right.
continue to grow and when you want to grow, God is always going to make, the teacher appear, okay? He's going to allow the teacher to appear. You just have to be receptive.
What's that old saying? When the student is ready.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear, okay? May not be in the package that you like, but look, the teacher will appear. And then, if you definitely have some different leaders that are popping up in your life, I mean, really get to know the field or the area that they're in, because it may just help broaden you to stretch you out into, greater influence to where God is actually calling you. And, definitely in this realm of being mindful of the people that are around you, sometimes we don't want to be like Joseph, okay, and go trying to share our dreams with everyone.
That's right.
But on the flip side of that, and trying to see exactly what type of people you're keeping company with, you can, as they say, test the waters with a portion of your dream just to see the reaction that you'll get. And that'll let you
Exactly.
know who you're keeping company with.
That's right.
Because I tell you what, when people look at you and they're like, well, where's this girl coming from with this?
Dream killer.
There you go, Dream Killers. And believe me, there's a book out there called Dream Killers, actually a really good book. And the thing that you really understand from dream killers is not only they're going to try to kill your long-term dream, but they're going to try to give you systematic steps on trying to kill every step that's going to actually help you get to that dream.
That's right.
Okay, it just happens with that. But, you really want to connect when you're a dreamer with people that, are success-driven, okay, especially when in the realm of, what it's personal improvement, professional improvement, people that understand setting goals, and definitely working hard to get to where you actually want to go.
You said that word.
I said it. I'm going to have to wash my mouth out with some good old what?
Oh, gosh.
Soap? Is that how they used to do it? Of course, they used to threaten us, say something again, and don't have me get that castor oil off of the top of that refrigerator.
You and that castor oil.
Hey, look, you can say what you want to say about castor oil. Castor oil was the cure-all for everything, because it was either coming out the top or coming out the bottom, but it got it out your system one way or the other. And then, look, when you definitely are in a direct company with people that are actually going to help you, okay, the people that are mindful around you, being mindful of those people. You're going to be around people that are always wanting to learn, themselves that are always wanting to grow, okay? It doesn't make any sense for you to, connect with an individual, okay? They help you get to a certain level, and then you basically on the same level with them, and they choose to not keep growing themselves, okay?
That's right.
Because, this is what I've seen. You can agree or disagree that you're going to only go as high, like I said, as the company that you keep. But on that same instance, when you start to, okay, well, I have to find a different avenue to grow that much more, it's almost that sometimes people throw this like the light or stigma as far as like on you, like, okay, I'm not good enough for you. I mean, what's going on?
That's manipulation.
Yeah, I mean, really, it is. People actually really do that. It's that for whatever reason, around different associations, and wow, why has it always got to be with like family members? I'm sure you hear this more than anything with family members or those so-called close friends. Wow, you forgot where you came from. Who do you think you are? I remember when you was this and that. They all of this nonsense.
Yeah.
That comes up, but what it is that we know who it is. We know it's not them directly. We know who it is that's actually trying to work through them.
That's
okay?
right.
And, for themselves, the biggest testament of you being mindful of the people that are actually around you is that when you actually do start, as they say, coming up, start to achieve certain levels of success to where you can actually turn around and actually start helping those that really didn't think they could actually make it in life. You had something to say? Are you sure?
Oh, I'm positive.
I mean, that big old Cheshire Cat smile you had over there, something popped in your head.
Yeah, no.
Clean it, repent from it.
Oh, no, I was just thinking about a song.
Oh, okay.
It's all good.
All right. So, definitely people that want to grow and learn more, look, you'll find they have a certain passion in their lives that in the beginning, you may not just understand it. And I think about right now when I was in high school, they had this one girl and she drove me crazy. And this is the reason why she drove me crazy. She was hyper happy. That's the only way I can put it.
Okay, so I know we're not talking about me.
No, we're not talking about you. No, we're not talking about you. No, because you, my dear, in high school was Miss Attitude, okay?
It was a good attitude, though.
Of course it was a good attitude. Of course it was a good attitude.
I had a wonderful attitude. Thank God for salvation and Jesus Christ. And I just give him all the glory and all the honor. I have a wonderful attitude.
I think outside of all the girls that were in high school, maybe 2 or 3, I think you think every girl was trifling or something up in high school almost.
No, not all of them.
Anyway,
let's
get back. We're not going to go relive those things in the past. But look,
that was several years ago.
This particular girl, she was very hyper happy, and I was just saying to myself, she was always. Now that I think about it, she'd always have those like notebooks. What used to be those binders where you could put like 5 notebooks or whatever in it? What, Trapper Keeper. There it is. So she used to have this Trapper Keeper, and then all of a sudden she'd have like this like collage of pictures or whatever in there, and then you wouldn't ask her, but she'd always be, well, this is what I'm going to do, next year, and this is what I'm going to do, when after high school. This is what I'm going to do in college, and this is what I'm going to do when I get into this career. This is what
So you're saying she had her own personal vision board before we knew them as vision boards?
Exactly. The girl was actually doing things that are like really commonplace about vision boards and all of that nowadays. She had it going on. She had different things. And today, even though people were slinging all type of mud at her, people were saying all these things about her, and really, people started to distance themselves away from her. Why? Because it wasn't the normal of what people are actually doing. The last thing I actually heard about this particular girl, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not going to say her name now, but she was into music, and she's now a country singer, or should I say a Christian country singer, and she's making it happen. Okay, she's making it happen. But guess what? She found out at that point in time what God had for her and what was her true moment. And she just stayed in it all her life. So what's going to help you to be the catalyst to stay in your moment? And what's going to help you to go into what God has in store for you? But look, we're going to take this break and come back for the last portion of our show. But think on these words, but stay in your moment. Welcome back to In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan on this Thriving Thursday. And the last portion of our program on today. Look, we've been talking about, are you mindful of the people around you? And my wife just brought this really great example out to me about, being the sum total of, the people that you actually keep associations with. And, it's really interesting. She really brought this out, and it really sticks out that you can be around someone that's in your group, your close-knit circle, that's really always doing a lot, doing more, just like the example of the girl that I gave right before break, that's really going ahead, really chasing after their dreams. And you can have someone that just doesn't want to do anything in life, sit on the sofa, just wait for the weekend to get there so they can go sit on someone else's sofa. And, well, if you have... Games. Huh?
I said sit on the sofa and play video games.
Yeah, playing video games, which is just like crazy, okay? And then you have you say like those are you're like right in the middle. And how she actually told me, you've got the person that really doesn't want to do anything and one that's just striving to do everything. And if you're right in the middle, well, guess what? It just pretty much defines you or classifies you as just being average. And we're not called to be average in this life, okay? This is Thriving Thursday, all right? God has called each and every one of us, his children, to actually thrive and not just settle for the status quo. And you might be saying, well, it's God that blessed me with this life. I want you to actually think right now of me saying that. Do you think that God has put a cap on how far you can actually go in life? Or is that something you've done to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we really need to take note that a lot of things that are going on right now in our lives are because of like just choices that we've made on how we've actually settled. God didn't say that we should settle, but he said that we should be content, okay? That's a big difference between being content and settling as far as like in life.
That's right. Something you may want to try to everybody out there who's not already doing things to uplift themselves, to motivate themselves, to better themselves. For the amount of time that you spend on social media or playing games, that's my downfall. That's why I can talk about games. or anything else that is negative or not uplifting in your life, balance that out with a self-motivating book, a self-help or inspirational or empowerment book, an activity that's going to build you up. Balance that out in your life, and you'll start to move in the right direction. Add more to it and start doing more in that area, and that will help you to start inspiring to reach your goals and change your mindset. I know for us, it took a lot to get us to change our mindset at one time.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say almost 20 years ago, our mindsets were all negative. And it took a lot, different things that we started doing. We started at least reading one self-help book a month. We started going to meetings that would lift us up. God used Bert. We started to look at things that we never in our lives we thought we had arrived, because we had things that were material
stuff,
better than what anyone in our family had. So we just thought that we had made it. And, you know, it took God coming into our life to show us you're not what you think you are. And he sent another gentleman named Bert into our life who started to help lift our mindsets up from where they were. And so I think that's really a really important takeaway from today is, if you're not already, start doing something that will help to change your mindset, that will help to lift you up from where you are, because you are the sum total of what you're around, what you put in front of your eyes, what you listen to, what you entertain in your life is what you become.
Exactly. And see, remember how I was saying before that, you know, when you actually put forth effort and, you know, when the student is ready, that the teacher will actually appear, as my wife has said as well, that when you really start putting forth the effort, God's going to open a way to actually have someone in your life that's actually going to help you, to mentor and you, take you along. And she just mentioned Bert. And I know he's not listening to this. Bert, our friend Bert, actually, I think, where did Bert move to?
Pennsylvania.
He moved Pennsylvania.
He moved back to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he moved to Pennsylvania, okay? And see, what's really interesting, Bert just wasn't, I guess you'd say, what someone would classify them as, a blue-collar worker, or someone that was actually just getting by. Bert was, you know, a very good six-figure income, and I'm just leave it at that. Okay, he was like working as a project manager. He was working with Entergy in the New Orleans area, and believe me, I mean, it was to the point to where, you know, just right now how we're being groomed and everything as far as like by the Christmases. Okay, I mean, Bert was paying for full-blown trips to different areas. He was inviting us to his home. Bert lived an hour away from us and was driving hours on his own dime, coming to our house to sit down at the table with us.
Just to help and motivate us, just to help lift us up from
just to
where
help
we
and
were.
motivate. But then, you know, he did the way he actually said, I asked him, well, why did you actually approach me? And, you know, this is when I was working in the food industry, and he said he saw me in a restaurant, and he said, out of all the chaos that was going on, he said, I just saw something in you, and it just told me to connect with that guy, And see, a lot of us want to depend as far as like thinking, well, you know, we got to find somebody that looks like us, same skin color or whatever. Well, look, Bert was a little short white guy, to where in the beginning, I think his hair had some blonde in it, but it didn't have blonde in it.
Think so.
I don't know. Well, it was all white hair, and Bert was like about at least a foot, maybe a foot and a half, almost shorter than I was, okay? And, you know, he was there, and, you know, Bert was just like, you know, whatever you needed, he'd give you the shirt off your back. And, you know, he stayed in the Mandeville area, nice upscale neighborhood, and, you know, his family just welcomed us. You know, his mom, I loved his mom. I mean, she was shorter than him, and first time she ever met me, you know, I'm this big 6'3" black guy, and she just came hugging me like I was a baby, you know, my mother or whatever that I never had. But the point I'm making is this. Stop looking at what's on the outside of the package and everything, because God may have your breakthrough wrapped up in a person that you would not even think about going to.
Right.
But sometimes when God knows you are definitely ready, I mean, that opportunity, that person, whatever it may be, will just pop up right in front of you, and without even saying the words, it'll be like, here I am. Here it is. And I mean, we can look at each other right now, and from that one instance, that experience with that person, that family, from what he did, from what he said, just totally revamped and changed every single thing in our lives to get us right here.
It helped to lift our mindsets from where they were and what we grew up with to see there was something different.
Exactly. And like right now on this phase of where we are as far as like mentoring, we're being groomed in a field of business and expertise that we had no knowledge of, but because of the mistakes that the people that came before us have made, and guess what? We're far above along the learning curve as opposed to where they were at this point in time. But what? Those particular individuals talking about the Christmases, they realize that to get to where you want to get in life, sometimes you're going to have to help other people get to where they need to be in life.
That's right.
And that's the same methodology that we take, okay? The same mindset that we take. To actually get to where we need to get in life, it's going to take us helping other people.
That's right.
That's exactly why we say call into the show with your questions or comments. That's exactly why we seek people for guests, because what? We are determined to be that positive agent of change and do what God's called us to be. We're determined to make sure that we help guide people to being in the moment that God has established for them. So what? That they can take their true possession in Canaan in this great season that we're in right now. So look, we're going to be back tomorrow on Fire It Up Friday. I hope you enjoyed the show on Thriving Thursday. And look, take care, God bless, and continue to be mindful of the people around you.